Welcome to section 6.5, part 3, where we're still talking about linear inequalities. For your warm-up, go ahead and graph the inequality y is greater than or equal to 1/2 x plus 1. Again, when we're graphing inequalities, our first thing to do is make sure that y is by itself. It is. Second step is to graph it as if we had the equation y equals 1/2 x plus 1. So we're going to put a dot on 1. A second dot goes from 1, we go up 1 and over 2 using our slope. It's a solid line because we have an underlined inequality symbol. And since it's greater than, we're going to shade above our line. Just a review of our steps. Again, first thing you want to do is solve for y, keeping in mind that if you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to reverse the inequality symbol. Greater than or less than gets what kind of a line? Hopefully you said dotted line. Less than or equal to or greater than or equal to gets a solid line. You're going to shade based on the following. If it's greater than or equal to, you're going to shade above the line. And if it's less than or equal to, you're going to shade below the line. So, a couple of things we need to review for today. If we have x equals a number, we have to figure out what type of graph we have. And if we have y equals a number, what type of graph we have. Well, if you have x equals a number, that's going to be a vertical line. And if you have y equals a number, that's going to be a horizontal line. So, we're going to graph the inequality x is less than -5. We're going to graph as if we had x equals -5. So if we had x equals -5, we would go on our x-axis over to the -5 and draw a vertical line. In this case, it's a dotted line because it's not underlined. Less than goes to the left, so we shade to the left. Y is less than or equal to a -5. So if we had y equals -5, we would we would draw a horizontal line on -5. So that's what we're going to do. And then since it's greater than, we shade above. Now, in this example, we have x plus 2y is less than or equal to a -2. Remember our first step, we need to get y by itself. So before I can even think about graphing this, I need to get y all by itself. To do that, I first have to subtract x from both sides. Keep in mind, you cannot combine this together. So it's 2y is less than -x minus 2, less than or equal to, sorry. Divide everything by 2 to get y completely by itself. You end up with y less than or equal to -1/2 x minus 1. Now that we have y all by itself, we can go ahead and graph. We put a dot on -1. We go down 1 and over 2 to get to our next dot and connect with a solid line because it's an underlined inequality symbol. It's less than, so we shade underneath. Take a look at this one. 8x plus y is greater than or equal to 4. Again, step 1, get y by itself. This one's a little easier. All we had to do was subtract 8x from both sides. We have y is greater than or equal to -8x plus 4. And this should be on this side. Let's fix that. So, we have a dot on +4. We go down 8 and over 1 to get to our next point. And since it's greater than, we're going to shade above our line. Try this one. X minus 3y is less than a -9. Remember, you have to get y all by itself. Let's see how you did. First thing we're going to do is subtract x from both sides. Then we have -3y is less than -x minus 9. We're going to divide by -3. Remember, multiplying or dividing by a negative reverses the inequality symbol. So this becomes y is greater than 1/3 x plus 3. Put a dot on 3, up 1 and over 3 to get to our next dot, and then we're going to shade underneath. No, it's greater than, so we're going to shade above. Sheesh. Shade above to get our There we go. Shade above to get our final graph. Homework assignment is on page 393, numbers 22 to 29.